everyone, welcome to today's practice. Today we're working through a Vinyasa Flow, and a Vinyasa Flow, just to give you a little bit of kind of background on what it is. A Vinyasa Flow actually just means consciousness in motion, which I think is a really beautiful explanation of any kind of physical movement. And so this consciousness in motion is the idea that we're going to create some unity and some connection between the mind and the body, and that the movement that you'll be doing and the flow between each of the different postures is going to create some alignment between the mind and the body, rather than kind of separating them and using the physical the physical movement as a way to distract from the mind and the thoughts, or vice versa, getting stuck in your thoughts and kind of using the movement time as a way to process them. Instead, we use the breath, and the breathing is really, really important, and so we'll focus a lot today on using our breath, and I will talk you through it, and I will constantly, continuously remind you to bring your awareness back to the breath. And in doing this, we're bringing the awareness, and awareness comes from the mind, it comes from the consciousness, which isn't just in the head, but in all of our cells we have consciousness, and it brings this consciousness into our body. It connects the two when we use our breath. So with that idea, we're going to move through a really nice full body practice today, really using the breath to hopefully calm us. I definitely feel a lot calmer after I do this practice, and I also just feel a real holistic kind of strength and clarity in my body, and so I hope that you'll feel that at the end of this practice too. So we're going to start, and we're going to stand. You can stand at the top of your mat. This is where I would usually start my practice, but I'm going to stand just in the middle facing forward so that you can see what I'm doing for this first bit a little bit clearer. Okay? So I want you to start by bringing your palms into your heart center, and maybe close your eyes. And I say close the eyes because it's already a little bit easier without the distractions of the perception of the eyes, to tune into your breath and your body. And so closing your eyes, or keeping them open, we're going to start to take some really deep inhales. Inhaling through the nose, and exhaling out through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, and out through the mouth. Twice more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, fill your lungs with air, and exhale out the mouth. Open your eyes if you need to so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to inhale, reach the fingertips up and overhead, stretching up, lifting the gaze towards the fingertips, and exhale, hands come down to the earth, and then we come into our toe stand, okay, our little squat with our bums on the heels. And then breathing in, we start to push back into the heels and roll up in the spine. Arms reach out and up, fingertips kiss overhead, gaze shifts. And then we exhale, arms come down towards the mat. We bend into the knees, coming into a toe stand. We're going to work through that 8 more times, okay? So inhale, reach all the way up, fingertips touch overhead. And then as we exhale, we bend into the knees, body comes forward, palms down to the ground. And we shift into a toe stand. And really think as we inhale about using the breath to make this movement as big and as full as possible. Exhaling, using up all the space around us. Really feeling into every single movement. Inhale, push away from the ground, bend into the knees. Sit back into the palm as you roll up. And then think of all the energy out through your fingertips as they kiss overhead. And then they radiate down. Exhale, bend deep into your knees. Hands come to the ground, into a toe stand. Inhale, ground down into your heels, sit back as if you're in a squat, and then roll up in the spine. And then reach out, maybe create a little back bend here as the fingertips kiss up and overhead. And then exhale, radiate down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down to the ground. Inhale, ground into the heels. Roll up in the spine, fingertips stretch out to the sides, up overhead. Exhale, let something go with the breath. Down to the ground. 3 more times. Inhale. Stretch up. And exhale. Let it rain down. Bend into the knees. Shift onto the balls of the toes. And then shift back into the heels. Roll all the way up through the spine. Inhale, reach out. Up and overhead. And then let something go. Radiate down to the ground. Last time, inhale. Roll up, fingertips kiss overhead. And as we exhale, palms come into the heart center. And just see if already maybe you feel a little bit different after using the breath. So now, I want you to stretch our flexion. Stay facing you guys, front. I want you to reach up again, inhaling, fingertips coming up and overhead. And as you exhale, take hold of your right wrist and think about pulling up and then reaching over towards the left. And as you stretch, I want you to think about moving just from the top of the torso. So from where your ribs start and then upwards, creating this side stretch, but keeping the rest of your body, your legs and your waist straight. Inhaling, fill your body with air, reach over. Exhale, use your core to come back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take hold of the left wrist and start to stretch over towards the right side. Again, the movement in the body coming from the ribs and then the shoulders and the arms. Every inhale, think about filling your body with air and reaching even further over. And exhale, releasing some of the tension in your body. Last inhale, fill with air, and exhale back to center. From here, we're going to inhale, reach up, exhale, fingertips come back, and they're going to interlink behind your body, okay? So I'm just shifting so you can see me. So whichever grip is more comfortable. If you want to interlock your fingers like this, you can, or you can just take hold of the fingers either side like that. From here, we're going to inhale and start to open up in the chest. So your shoulder blades are going to roll back and down as your fingertips stretch away from the body, and as you do that, your chest will open, and maybe you create a little curve in the lower back as well. Okay? As we exhale, we're going to start to bend into the knees, still reaching back in the hands and coming all the way forward as far as we can, and allowing the arms to come up and over as far as we can. So we're stretching in the legs, but also stretching in the back body and in the shoulders. So just coming over as far as you can, making sure there's a bend in the knees. And then inhale, keep a bend in the knees. We release the arms, they sweep forward and up. We inhale, look up to the sky. Exhale, find the grip again behind your back. Inhale, open up in the chest, shoulder blades back and down, create a little back bend. Exhale, start to bend into your knees again, and allow the arms to stretch behind you, and maybe even the idea of moving towards the front of the mat a little bit. Inhale, release the grip, fingers sweep up and overhead. Exhale, release, find your grip. Inhale, open the chest, slight back bend and heart opener. And exhale, bending into the knees, leaning forward, creating that stretch in the back. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, find your grip. Inhale, open the chest, create maybe a small back bend. And exhale, rain the heart forward. Stretching the arms out towards the front of the mat if you can. Last time, inhale, arms sweep up overhead. Exhale, fingertips link behind. Inhale, open in the chest, shoulder blades back and down, slight back bend. And exhale, release it over, bending into your knees, and just taking a few breaths here, using the breath maybe to move you a little bit in this position, maybe playing with lifting up a little bit, keeping a bend in the knees the whole time, and maybe releasing back forward a little bit, and then all together inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart. From here, we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose. Fingertips come down, out to the side and up. And then we're going to start to sit back on our exhale into chair pose, okay? So making sure your feet, soles of the feet are planted firmly on the ground. I'm going to move back a little bit, just so you can see me. So soles planted firmly on the ground, coming back into chair pose. So kind of like a yogi squat. And just sitting the bum back as low as you can. And taking 2 breaths here. Okay. Making sure that there's a straight line all the way from your tailbone up through the spine and out of the crown and the top of the head. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands into your heart center and start to shift the weight over into your left leg, keeping a bend in your left knee. And then gaze should be just down on the mat in front of you, okay? That will really help you keep your balance. So don't have your gaze out in front or anywhere else, but find a focus point just in front of your toes on the mat in front of you. And you should be able to shift the weight over onto your left leg, maybe with a little shake. From here, we're going to inhale, start to kick back with the right foot, keeping a bend in the left leg. And then exhale, squeeze the right leg back in, coming back into that position. Maybe bringing the knee up towards the chest, really squeezing. Inhale, kick back with the leg, with the right leg. Exhale, squeezing into the supporting leg. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, squeeze that leg in, up towards the chest, keeping a bend in the left knee. Inhale, kick the right leg back. Exhale, bring it in. Last time, inhale, kick the right leg back, and from here, you're going to gently lower that back leg and that heel down onto the mat. Coming into warrior one. Okay? And if you fall out of it, that's fine, just join me in your warrior one. And you've gathered yourself a little bit, okay? So in your warrior one, your front leg is at a right angle. So you're really strengthening your left thigh. And your back leg is at an angle, okay? Sole of the foot grounded firmly down onto the ground. And make sure you're always at a distance that's comfortable. For me, I'm going to always be further than most people because I've got really long legs. So sometimes you can make comparisons to people and it isn't always as supportive for you. For you, your stance might be a little bit closer together if your legs aren't as long. For me, to get the real kind of depth in this position, my legs have to be really wide because they make up most of my body. Okay, so from here, moving into warrior one, so making sure if your hips are facing out that we now turn them so that they're square and that they're facing the front, okay? And just holding here for 2 breaths in our warrior one position. Try and tap back in with the breath as much as possible, knowing that your body is working really hard, but it's also working in a really positive way because you're aware of what you're doing and you're connecting your mind and your body and really taking good care of yourself. From here, we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we find that grip again, just behind the lower back. Then we inhale, same thing, we start to reach back, shoulder blades go back and down, chest opens, and this time as we exhale, we start to shift forward and come to the outside of the left leg, okay? Into humble warrior. And then as we inhale, we squeeze into that left leg, keeping the bend really strong, and fingertips come up and overhead and back into warrior one. Exhale, they radiate down. We find the grip behind us. Inhale, open up in the chest, find that little back bend, and then exhale, moving forward into your humble warrior. Okay, so body on the outside of the left leg, Reaching arms back and over as much as possible, and then inhaling, squeezing down into your legs, so much strength. Fingertips come back up into warrior one. Twice more. Exhale. Find your grip behind you. Inhale. Shoulders roll back. Open the chest. Exhale. Shifting forward. Come into the outside or the inside of the left leg. And then inhaling, squeezing up. Reaching up, warrior one. Exhale. Let something go. Find your grip behind you. Last time. Inhale. Open up through the chest. Exhale, radiate forward. Your bum may be on fire now. Really squeeze to this last one. Inhale. Rise back up. And exhale, straighten out in the left leg. Fingertips rain down. So just using this as a kind of resting posture for the moment. Taking a little bit of the pressure out of that leg. Maybe jiggling your thigh a little bit. Whew. And just a little bit of movement to release some of the tension. From here, we're going to move into our triangle pose, okay? So if you already know triangle, feel free to start kind of setting yourself up. So your legs are in the same position as warrior one, but this time your legs straighter, and I usually bring my foot in a little bit closer for this one. Arms are up straight, as they are in warrior two. And if you imagine just moving your hips back and forth a bit, and then it's the position where they're coming back. Okay, so this leg is straight and weight is coming into this hip. And as that happens, think of it as a hinge. So your hips are going one way and whoop, your body tilts over and brings you in the opposite direction. But rather than your body dropping down, you want to think about your body really using your core strength and maintaining that length. Okay, so think about your right arm is like pulling you up towards the ceiling, and at the same time your left arm is trying to pull you towards the mat, and that's creating this really nice opening in your body. Whew, and also creating quite a lot of work in the legs. For me it's mainly in the core, this one. And just holding it here for 2 more breaths. So you should feel like you're almost flat in between 2 panes of glass with your body and your arms. Exhale, lifting back up to standing. Okay. From here, we're going to move through another little Vinyasa Flow. Okay. So we'll be exhaling, bending into the knee. As we inhale, or it might be exhale actually. Exhale, reaching over. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale. Yeah. So we'll inhale. So if we all start in warrior two, in this position, this position or this pose, or this pose, as I like to call it. So we'll be exhaling, straightening, starting to shift into the hip. Okay. Sorry, inhaling. Exhaling, shifting over into triangle pose. Okay. Inhaling, lifting up, using the core, keeping the left leg straight, and then exhaling, leaning back into warrior two. Then inhaling, exhaling over into triangle, inhaling, bringing it back up using the core, and exhaling, lunging forward into your warrior two. Okay, and we're going to work through that. We'll do it 10 times through because we're going to move quite quickly. But I really want you to tune into the breath, okay? So it's a box cycle. We have inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, okay? And don't worry about the timing. Just breathe as quickly as you need to support the movement. But try and breathe in a way that's supportive to you as well. So coming into your warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, squeeze, bring it up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Halfway. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. Triangle. Inhale. Warrior two. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Sitting in your warrior two. And then slowly dropping the right arm down and pivoting on the back foot so that you're coming into a high lunge. Okay, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths in the high lunge. So still working your legs. We're using the breath as well to ground yourself. Last breath, inhale, reach up. Exhale, rain the fingertips down and place them either side of the left foot. Lower your right knee down. Maybe untuck the toes of the back foot. And coming into crescent lunge, okay? So really stretching out your right hip. Maybe you need to move your knee back a little bit if you don't feel the stretch, or maybe you need to move it forward if the stretch is too intense. And make sure your knee isn't over your toes, okay? So you're not like that, but that your knee is in line with your foot, with your heel, okay? And just taking a few breaths here, tuning back into your breath if you lost it a little bit. Last deep breath. From here, curl the back toes under. Start to lift up, shift the hips all the way back, pushing down into the mat with your hands. See if you can lift the left leg up and then step it back into downward dog. Okay? In downward dog, just start to find some gentle, easy movement. Pedaling into the feet, bending the left, and then the right knee, or leg I should say, bending into the knee. I don't think you can actually bend the leg in any other place other than the knee. Obviously the ankle, but and at the hips, but I mean in the actual leg itself, I think the main bend comes at the knee. And from here then just come into stillness, making sure that the focus is on length through the spine and through the backs of the legs. But if the heels are lifted like mine are, that's absolutely fine. But you can also work at bringing the heels down towards the mat gradually in this pose as well. From here we're going to inhale and start to shift forward into a high plank. Okay? From high plank, you're going to take an inhale and then start to shift so that you're on the outside edge of the right foot and the left foot. And then start to lift the left arm up, really pushing strong down into the right arm and coming up into a side plank. From here, you can take a kickstand with the left leg in front of you for some support, or You can bring that left foot to rest on the right foot, reaching up into your side plank. Really, really strong. Find something that's challenging, but we're going to be here for 3 breaths. So make sure you can hold the pose or take a rest and come back into it if you need to. And if Wild Thing is in your practice, okay, you're going to take your left foot out behind you. So you've got a bent knee and your sole of the foot is on the ground. And then you'll reach back with your left arm, pushing your hips up and coming into Wild Thing, okay? And maybe you're still holding it in your plank. One more inhale, exhale. If we're in plank, we're going to drop the left arm back down, come back into high plank, and push back into our downward dog. Nice. And just stretching out here again for a moment. Maybe pedaling out your feet. From here, we're going to drop the knees down. And we're going to move through some chaturanga, knee, chest, chin chaturangas. So we won't be doing the full chaturanga, but instead, so we'll start in a plank, and we'll inhale, and as we exhale, you'll drop the knees down. Start to bend into the elbows, okay, so they're coming back directly against your body, they're not splaying out to the sides. And as you do that, you're going to tuck your tailbone, okay? So rather than keeping your body straight and coming down to the mat like this, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, okay, as if you were coming into cow pose, and come forward like this, so that your chest and your chin are what comes into contact with the ground first. And you should have this nice space between the belly, okay, the lower body and the ground. And then from here, this gives you room to push up, lower the legs down, and come into upward dog, okay? And then from here, we'll push back into child's pose. From child's pose, we'll come forward, tuck the toes, coming back into high plank. And then exhaling, knees, tuck the tailbone, chest, chin. Upward dog, child's pose. Okay? And we're just going to do 5 repetitions. I'm going to have a sip of water. Maybe practice that a little bit for a moment if you're not used to that kind of movement. And it doesn't have to look perfect. I still look weird now, but the first 2 years when I was practicing this, I used to just not do it because I didn't like it, it didn't feel good. But just trust it is really good for your body, and it's really good for strengthening you, especially so you can eventually come into your full chaturanga to downward dog, to upward dog, and then downward dog, and then chaturanga, up dog, down dog. So we're building up strength in preparation for that, okay? So everybody, joining me in plank pose. And we're going to inhale, exhale, knees drop down, tuck the tailbone, chest, chin. Inhale, push up to upward dog, straighten the legs. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, tuck the toes, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Twice more through. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, child's pose. Last time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, up dog. Woo. Exhale, Child's pose. Rest here for a moment. Good. Oh, definitely builds up some heat in the bod. For sure. And just take a couple of breaths here. Maybe in child's pose. Just to slow the heart rate. Think about that mind and body connection again. Are you using your breath to support you? And then rising up, coming forward into tabletop, and tucking the toes, pushing up into down dog. From down dog, starting to shift the weight into one foot, and then walk the other one up, and then walking all the way up to the top of the mat, coming into a forward fold, keeping a bend in the knees if that feels good. Whoop. Falling over if that feels good. And then inhale, take a halfway lift, straight spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips to kiss overhead. Exhale, sit back. Chair pose. I'm going to move back a little bit. So moving into that little sequence on the other side now. So holding it here for 2 breaths. Making sure we're sitting back, weight is mainly in the heels. And then we've got a nice straight line, loose neck, no wrinkles in the back of the neck. Straight spine. Inhale, bring the fingertips, the palms into the chest. Gaze down on the mat in front of you. And then start to shift the weight over into the right leg, keeping a bend in the right knee. Okay? And we're going to work through 5 of those kickbacks. Okay? So we'll inhale, and we're going to kick back on an exhale this time. Okay? Inhale, squeeze the leg in. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, squeeze it in. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, squeeze it in. Exhale, kick back. Inhale, squeeze it in. Last time. Exhale, kick back. And then holding it in your warrior. 3, and then stepping back, lowering that foot down. And adjusting your stance if you need to come into your warrior 1 on the other side. Okay, nice. Just holding it here, finding some grounding and some comfort in the pose before we move into our humble warrior flow on the other side. Okay? So one more deep breath in warrior 1. Then inhale, reach up. Exhale, fingertips, find that grip behind you. Inhale, open the chest, slight back bend. And exhale, coming forward into your humble warrior. Inhale, squeeze, rise up. Warrior 1. Exhale, fingertips link behind you. Inhale, chest opens. Exhale, rain it forward. Humble warrior. Inhale, fingertips up and overhead. Warrior 1, keeping the bend in the front leg. Exhale, find your grip. Inhale, shoulder blades roll back. Open up in the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, find your grip. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Really squeeze on the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So much strength in the legs. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, find your grip. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, rise up and straighten your right leg. Find a little bit of release. Whew. Nice. From here, we're going to move. So we're opening out our hips now. So our hips are shifting from facing forward to now opening up and shifting to the side. So our gaze is still out in front of us, but our hips now nice and open. And from here, we'll inhale. Exhale, start to shift the hips towards the left and coming over, tilting over now into triangle on the other side, okay? And still remembering to try, if you need to rest your hand down, you can, but I still want you to have this idea of your body and your left arm is pulling you up and away from the ground as your right arm is also trying to draw you towards the ground. And those opposing forces help open up your body. But it shouldn't feel like an opposition. It shouldn't feel painful. It should just feel like that's kind of the idea that's going to help create that opening in your body, help you engage your core to hold this position. Imagine again you're in between two panes of glass. Inhale, really open, and exhale, rise back up. From here, we're going to work through our Warrior 2 Triangle Vinyasa. So we'll be exhaling, Warrior 2, inhale, exhale, triangle, inhale, Warrior 2, sorry, exhale up, exhale, Warrior 2, right. Yeah, that's right. So we'll start in our Warrior 2 on the other side. Hopefully you can see pretty clearly, even though I'm facing away from you, what I'm doing, okay? So, taking one breath all together, inhale, and then ready to start on the next inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, squeeze up to standing. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, really squeeze and use your core as you rise up. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, tilting over. Inhale. Exhale, halfway. Inhale. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale, reach over. Inhale. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the core. Inhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, Warrior 2. Whew. Maybe release your arms. Roll your shoulders a little bit. If you're feeling super strong, stay with your arms out in Warrior 2. And then inhale. You're going to start to pivot on the back leg. Left arm sweeps down and up. You come into a high lunge for 3 breaths. Okay? So really use these last 2 breaths to connect what you're feeling in your body and the focus of your mind. Inhale and exhale, rain it down, shifting forward, planting the palms either side of your right foot. Whew. And then lowering your left knee down, maybe untucking the toes. Coming into a crescent lunge on the other side. And knees stacked over heel. And adjusting again your leg so that you really feel a nice stretch in the left hip, left thigh, upper thigh, quadriceps. Okay? And just breathing it out here. Knowing that the moments of stillness can still be so strengthening and create so much evolution for our bodies. This idea that we always have to be kind of moving and sweating to do any good for our bodies is quite a modern concept. It sometimes takes away from the beauty of these static poses where the movement is actually in our breath. That's hurting me a bit, so I'm going to tuck my toes under and move my knee in a little bit as well. One more inhale and exhale. And inhale, tuck the back toes, start to lift up, shifting the hips back. And then when you've got enough space to lift the right foot up, pushing away in the mat, step it back to downward dog. Pedaling out here again. Enjoying the warmth you should have hopefully created in your body now. I definitely feel a lot warmer. Woo. This should be fun because I'm doing a live video tomorrow. Which will be last week when you watch this video. So I'm going to be doing this all again in the morning. And I'll probably be feeling quite tired because I usually have a break if I do this kind of practice. I'll usually do it every other day. Just because it really does work, strengthen the whole body. And I'll usually do a gentler practice to follow the next day. From here we're going to inhale, shift forward into high plank. Inhale again. Exhale, start to shift over onto the outside edge of the left foot now, and then lifting the right arm up, coming into side plank. Staying here if you want, so your right palm's on the floor, or bringing it in front into a kickstand, or inhaling, pushing away, grounding down into the left palm, and then bringing it over to rest on top of your left foot, to come up into the full expression of side plank. And we'll be here again for a few breaths. So work in and out of it if you need to. Really strong, making sure your hips aren't dipping down and that your arms are nice and straight. And maybe taking your wild thing variation if it's in your practice. Just nice and gentle. I can't even move that far with the wall. And then taking one more deep breath, maybe coming back into high plank if you were in wild thing, and to side plank. And then exhaling, moving back into high plank. And then pushing back gently into downward dog. And I like to move my feet pretty much every time I come into downward dog. I like to reposition because often you won't be in the perfect place that feels good in your body. And our bodies are so different, which means for some of us it will be comfortable when we shift, and for some of us we'll need to readjust. And that intuition is what will hopefully guide you to find more joy in your practice. From here we'll gently lower our knees down, come back to rest for a moment before we move through those little chaturanga. I say little, but I don't mean to belittle them because they're very effective. And that'll be our last little bit. So if you feel like you've just got like maybe 5 minutes of energy left, perfect, that's all you need. And if you haven't, then maybe sit it out, maybe start to stretch or cool down. But for those of us who are gonna give it a go, we'll come forward, ready to move into our plank, and then knees, chest, chin, upward dog, child's pose. For five repetitions, or 5 flows, I prefer to say. Okay? So inhaling, coming up to high plank, exhale, knees, tuck the tailbone, chest, chin, inhale, upward dog, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shift forward and up, high plank, exhale, knees, chest, chin, inhale, up dog, exhale, child's pose. Inhale, high plank, exhale, knees, chest, chin, inhale, up dog, exhale, child's pose. Twice more. Inhale, high plank, exhale, knees, chest, chin, up dog, exhale, child's pose. Last time, high plank, exhale, knees, chest, chin, inhale into your upward dog, and exhale, push back all the way into child's pose. Whew. And breathe here. Take at least 3 breaths here. Just to calm your body down and let your nervous system know that you get it, that you're not ignoring it. You know that it's not only the muscles that react to exercise, that our nerves are just as important, and that it's good to keep them calm. And the way we can do that is simply by using our breath. And by communicating with our body that we're being aware and we're using the breath, you're going to keep your nervous system calmer. And it's really important that we keep our nervous system calm, because often we don't have much time in the parasympathetic state of our nervous system, which is really the rest and digest state, where we can be calm and digest not just our food, but digest everything we've taken in information wise throughout the day. So it's really good to use the breath to keep your nervous system calm as well. So coming up into our last downward dog now in your own time. Inhaling, exhaling, really enjoying your last stretch throughout your whole body in your downward dog. Really stretch, stretch, stretch. Use the heat to create some length in your whole body. And then start to walk your feet towards the middle of the mat. And then walk your fingertips back to join them. Maybe bending in the knee if that's more comfortable. And you're just going to hang here in your forward fold for a moment. And then inhale, roll all the way up. Fingertips stretch up and overhead. Deep inhale. Exhale, just coming back into that side stretch. So leaning up and over towards the left. Hopefully finding a little bit more space in the body this time. It's nice sometimes to finish how you started and just see a little bit of a difference. So really fill the body with air. And exhale. Lean over a little bit further. And inhale. Rise back up. Exhale, take hold of the left wrist and reach over towards the right. You might even get some nice clicks in your back body or the side of your body. Remember that the tilt is coming from the upper part of your torso and spine. So more your thoracic spine than your lumbar spine. Fill yourself with air and expand the movement as you breathe. One more deep inhale, really stretch. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips rain down, find that grip. Last time behind you. Inhale, open up in the chest, roll the shoulder blades back, slight back bend. And exhale, bend into your knees. Allow the arms to come up overhead. And then really let the neck hang loose. In this position, taking 3 breaths here. 3 final breaths of movement. And then your next inhale, release the grip. Rise all the way back up to standing, reach up overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. And closing your eyes for the final minute of our practice. And taking 5 deep inhales and exhales. Just to finish off our practice. In honour and gratitude of our breath. And our life force. And knowing that as much as our breath and the beating of our heart is involuntary and it works for us continuously without us asking, that we can also tap into our breath and use our breathing as a way to benefit us and support us. And that when we do this, we really express love towards our body. We tell our body that we've got its back and that we're going to help it for a little while so that it can maybe focus on other things and that so it doesn't have to work so hard. And so knowing that the breath is our ally for all that we go through physically and mentally. Bringing the palms to the forehead, giving gratitude to our bodies and our minds and our breath. Bringing them to the mouth and thanking ourselves for this practice that we've given to ourselves. And then taking them to the heart and honouring each other. And bowing the head to the fingertips. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me, guys. I hope that you can take this breath into the rest of your day and that you feel incredibly good in your body but also in your mind.